Hello to all on Women Dialogues, and I'm your host Shashi with you all to create more voice for women and by women. And today's our guest Mrinalini. She's MD in Career Transformation and Purpose Coach. She has an author of the best-selling book, The One Thing That Changed Everything. As the name, you can hear and you can find the change and you can find the inspiration. We are really excited to hear more further from Dr. Minalini about this. And Minalini specializes in helping ambitious professional women around the world about their career journey and all. So let's welcome our today's speaker, Minalini, and let's hear, let's inspire, let's get motivate what she has for us today to inspire and motivate by sharing her journey, her life, her challenges, and all about. So welcome Renali on this platform.
Thank you, Shashi. Happy to be here. It's great to be able to share my experience, and hopefully, at least one person gets excited and inspired to take charge of their career.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. And yes, we are ready to get inspired and motivate. And I believe the same way our audience and speaker viewers as well. So as a speaker, you are here, you are sharing your journey. Let's start by your early childhood. Share about your early childhood, how you grew up, what kind of things were around you, what way it made you learn so much and how all about.
Sure. So, I did not give a lot of importance to childhood until I started on this journey of becoming a career coach. And I
Oh,
just realized your childhood actually molds how you're going to be as an adult.
right.
So, outwardly, if somebody looked at my resume, if they looked at my life, in the past, they would have thought that, oh, wow, she's got it. She's so put together. She's a physician. She went to the US to get her master's, and she worked in the most amazing organizations. And they would just feel like, oh, she's living the dream. But
Right.
really, I wasn't. I was
Uh-huh.
unfulfilled in my career. I was high achieving. I still
Mhm.
am.
Mhm.
But I realized that there was something amiss. And as I started to understand what is
Mm.
amiss, like from
Mm.
outward, if I look happy, why am I not feeling happy inside? That's what led me to my childhood journey. And my
Mm.
childhood journey, if I just generally look at it, it's gonna be, that's like everybody's, normal story. Because in India, so many things are normalized, which shouldn't be. So, for
Mhm.
example, violence. For
Mm.
example, children beating their, I mean, parents beating their children is just considered a normal thing. In
Mm.
fact, the more the parent beats a child,
Mm.
parents say that, oh, that's how much I love you, right? I beat you because I love you.
Mm.
And that's not true. That's
Yeah,
not true. So,
that's true.
I was brought up in a house where it wasn't the most healthy environment for me and my brother,
Mm.
and had a lot of challenges um, because of the physical abuse I had to go through, because of my mom, and my dad was always traveling, so he wasn't around. So if you think about it, I really have not too many happy memories of my childhood. I mean, of course, there are a lot of things that I did.
Mm.
But if I look back at it with sadness.
Mm.
And that's not how anybody should be looking at their life. When they look back, there shouldn't be sadness. A child should have a right to be happy every
Mhm.
time.
Right. That's the really sad to hear, and I believe that brings a lot of memories and a lot of things about particular culture, and when we are talking about it, particular country, and same time, not only particular country or culture, it is about parenting, I believe, moreover, and as you mentioned about parenting, the way they take it as a parenting, it's all about how they have learned maybe in their life about parenting, and that keep going on generation to generation, if until unless there is no intervention of learning or training. As um, nowadays it's a lot, because when they start thinking about family planning or having conceive a baby, they really get into training, right? They really try to understand what it all likes to grow a baby and having a baby when in real it is going to come, and what way they have to develop. uh, this is all you shared as your challenge, but you have overcome, and you are now yourself um, a very famous coach. You have published lots of books, and so how it happened, how this transformation happened in yourself, in your life, from physician who is very successful, who is working, who is achieving, uh, how it all happened.
Yeah. So, like you said, it's all about parenting, right? It's not about culture because the story is the same everywhere.
Right.
And the thing is, if you have to become a carpenter or an electrician, right, you have to get certified. But when you have to become a parent, nothing.
Hmm.
And that's not right.
Right.
It's a big responsibility to be a parent,
Yeah.
and really need to understand how to meet not just the physical needs of the child, but also the emotional and mental needs of the child.
Yeah.
So how did I overcome? um, well, initially it's just survival, right?
Mhm.
It's just survival.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you somehow make decisions about your life, right? I
Hmm.
mean, what happens when you go through any kind of abuse as a child is that you do not have the prefrontal cortex to really analyze that, oh, I'm getting beaten, it's not a good thing, right? You cannot
Hmm.
challenge your parents,
Right.
right? So you are in survival, right? Oh, this person is supposed to love me and they're beating me. So maybe beating is a sign of love,
Mm.
right? So we
I got
internalize
you.
all these
Mm.
um, twisted concepts in our mind, right?
Mm.
And when you are beaten or you're abused in any way, the other thing you also internalize is that, oh, I must be so bad that my parents have to take this extreme action,
Action.
right? For me,
Mm.
to beat me. So I must be so bad. So there is
Mm.
something wrong with me. I am inadequate, right?
Mm.
And you grow with that feeling. And that's what happened to me, right? I grew
Mm.
up with that feeling that there's something wrong with me.
Mm.
And then you get into, getting into that overachieving mode, right? Oh, let me, do something big and then I
Mm.
would feel enough, right? So if you
Mhm.
look at my resume, I worked at these amazing organizations. I left my country to pursue my passion and go after my ambition. So, I went through, taking all these leaps and trying to accomplishing great things for me, but I wasn't feeling enough.
Right.
And I have come to realize that so many of us, do all these things to make ourselves feel good about ourselves, right? I mean, leave country, get degrees, not just degree, but degrees. And then you get that, you spend so much money, and you incur so much loan, right? Incur so much debt, and then you are like, what am I doing with my life, right? Why am I not happy? And that's the question that really led me on this journey. And I
Mm.
came across some resources that talked about how childhood really impacts your adulthood. And then I
Mhm.
looked at all these patterns that I was having because of
Mm.
my childhood experiences. So, like I said, if I'm
Mhm.
not enough, I'm going to keep
Right.
doing more and more and more to feel good about myself, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, if you were abused as a child, right, you do not feel the courage to stand up to authority figures. So what
Mhm.
happens as an adult? You don't want to have difficult conversations with your boss, right? You are not going to ask for the salary that you truly deserve. In fact, because you feel you're not good enough, you're not even going to feel that you actually deserve a high salary, right? So you
Right.
just accept, oh, this is how it's going to be. I don't want to go and have a conflict with my boss because I don't want him to be unhappy, because you're scared, right? And that fear has been instilled in your head from childhood. So everything translates to as, oh, I was so scared of my parents, right? So
Right.
every other authority figure in your life then just becomes that parent in your mind that you did not have any control over. And
Mm-hmm.
I just felt that was not right. And then, I, went for therapy, read a lot of self-help books, worked with a lot of amazing coaches. And browsed through almost everything that's available on the internet, attended conferences and trainings. And then I was able to come up with, three things that really helps anybody to be successful in life. And that's what I applied to my life. That's what I teach my
Mm-hmm.
clients.
Mm-hmm.
And the three things basically is, you have to be really clear on what you
Right.
truly want.
Right.
Because if you do not know what you truly want, you are
Right.
just gonna go about your life, right? Getting new degrees, certifications, and whatnot. Or it could be the opposite way, because you do not know what you truly want. You will not get the degrees that you're really interested in, right?
Right.
So you would be just, wasting your life going after things that really do not matter. The second thing is you have to know your worth, right? You have to know your value.
Yeah.
And
Very
lot of
important.
women and men too actually do not own up their value
Mm-hmm.
because of the trauma that they have had as a child. And if you do
Right.
not know your value,
Right.
you undersell yourself. And then the third thing is to actually communicate that value such that your audience gets you, right? They see you that,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you are this amazing person and I want to hire you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you are this amazing person and I cannot take you for granted. I cannot just give you peanuts for salary, and I'm going to treat you differently. So these are the three things, that I have realized one needs to be successful, not just in their career, but
Right.
also their life.
I think you shared, you got a lot of these very key things when we are talking about the individual, how they can transform, how they can develop the way like you did in your life. But same time, you find these three key things which you are sharing about one that they should know what they really want. So when we are talking about, let's start about this first topic, and there is many time. Especially when I want to bring it more because I know many of women they are listening and watching us, and many other even all audience are listening and watching. But many times they don't get that time or they don't really get that understanding to find what they really want. This is something like they just keep going with their whatever you say like so how one can understand it, how they can develop that
Yeah.
right today you
Yeah.
got time you got that sense and you work on that to understand why being a physician why even achieving a lot of things why even working a lot of these prestigious organizations why you are not content why you're not happy and satisfied you worked on that right so how one can do that.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great question. Time is always a challenge for everybody because everybody has made their lives so busy doing
Mm-hmm.
things that don't even give joy. And
Right,
because you are so scared of standing up for yourself, you keep saying yes, 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 yes to everything the boss tells you to do. Even at home, right? You say yes instead of saying that, you know what, I actually don't like it and I'm not going to do it, right? We are just
right,
scared to say what we truly want to do and what we don't want
exactly,
to do. So
exactly.
for women and men, because it applies to both,
Right.
When you see yourself too busy and you feel that you
Mm-hmm.
have no time, that's
Right.
exactly the time when you have to pause. And I'll share a little story with you. And the
Mm-hmm.
story is, there's this guy who is walking through the woods and he sees a woodcutter cutting a log of wood, right?
Right.
And he stands there and watches this woodcutter and he's going on and on and on and on, cutting the log of wood, and it's not cutting. And this person notices that his um, what do you call it, the
So, X.
saw, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
The saw is blunt, right?
Mm.
And he goes and tells the woodcutter, hey, did you notice that your saw is blunt?
Mm.
uh, it might help you, it might speed up your process, if you actually sharpen your saw and then go cut
Mm-hmm.
the log of wood. And he just shrugs his shoulder and says, don't you see I'm so busy, I don't have the time to sharpen my saw,
Mm.
right? And he went back to cutting the saw, right? And
Right.
this is exactly what we do in our lives too, right? We always give us reasons and justifications and excuses,
Mm-hmm.
why you cannot do, why you cannot take the time out for yourself to really pause and reflect, why might I be feeling unfulfilled? Why might I be so busy? Right? Why might I not be standing up for myself and commanding the place that I truly deserve in the workplace? So, you know, you have to make yourself a priority. If you
Mm-hmm.
cannot make yourself a priority, no one will,
Mm.
because you know how much you are going through, what you are going through, how much you are suffering, how miserable you are,
Mm-hmm.
the that you are stuck in your career or in life. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
but you know it, right? So it's your responsibility toward yourself that you take the time and pause and say that I have a problem, accept that you have a problem. Because if you don't even accept you have a problem, then I mean, you just go about your life, right? Why even dream about other things? Why even dream about a different life when you feel you have no problem? So the
Mm.
first thing that's important is to accept that my job sucks. I am underpaid. I am
Right.
too busy. I have no time for myself or my family. Say it out
Mm.
loud to yourself, hear it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then say
Yeah.
that, okay, I want a different life. And you don't even have to go into the how, because that comes later,
Right.
right? You have to key in that address in the GPS
Mm-hmm.
system, right? And
Right.
GPS system will tell you how to take you there. But the first thing is that you have to accept that you have a problem and you want a
Mm.
different life.
Mm. Yeah, that's very important. And I think the way you explained it with your bringing such a beautiful story and making us all realize that how one can develop that sense, how one can work on their own life by not just by finding always guilty, regression, complaining, rather than how they really can they take those moments and turning into action point by hearing or by accepting what they really are having challenge in their life, what they really have troubles, and why they have. So what and why when we are talking about it's really important. And I think the way you explain, all our audience will take in the same way. They will work on their why and what, and then come on their how. So moving ahead, Dr. Mrinalini, I just would like to ask when we are talking about, so let's come on your second point. And you said you can, so just please explain about your second point.
Yeah, so the second point was knowing your worth,
Right.
right? Knowing your worth is, understanding that all that had been fed in your mind, in your brain, that's all brain
Mm,
trash, right?
mm,
It's just the programming that has happened over the
mm,
years as a child, because you really did not have the capability to separate bad actions from good actions, and you internalize that you deserve those bad actions, and in fact you didn't even know that those were bad actions, but you
mm,
told yourself that, oh, if I am looking for love, those bad actions have to be there, right? So what do, right? We sabotage ourselves. So when we think about relationships, we get into the
Mm-hmm.
relationships that give us a similar experience that we experience as a child, right? So a lot of women find themselves in abusive relationships, those who have had abuse as a child, and
Right.
and they just repeat the same thing because that feels at home, right? That
Mm.
feels good.
Mm.
If you are in a good relationship, right, then you're unsure, right? It's like, oh, I don't know. I mean, this person might leave me, or I have no
Mm.
idea why they are being so nice to me. I don't deserve this. And the same for
Mm.
jobs, right? Because if you do not know your worth, you will
Mm.
end up having an abusive boss, you will end up having toxic colleagues, and you will not ask for a great salary too, right?
Right.
Because that's your worth has been like, trashed, and it's you've been made to contract and be
Mm.
inside this little space, right? That's what you internalize. So you have to first understand that it's that programming that's making you feel that you're not enough, and you have to really make sure that you separate that it's not
Mm-hmm.
you, it's the programming, it's the beliefs that you have developed, and they are called
Right.
the limiting beliefs or disempowering beliefs that
Right.
has made you feel this way. And it
Mm-hmm.
is so freeing. That thought itself is so freeing. Like, all my life I have been giving myself the message that I am not enough, I am a bad person, and I don't deserve great things in life, right? So that idea itself of separating that
Mm-hmm.
programming from you is relieving, right? And then
Right.
you work on yourself, right? I mean, um, it's not going to happen in an hour, it's not going to happen in a day, it's going to take you, a few weeks at least, right? To really go inside and really put a spotlight on all the disempowering beliefs that you have gathered over time, and then work with somebody. And that's so important. Like, don't waste your time thinking that, yeah, I'll read some books and do this and that. I have done it. It doesn't work that way. You have to find help to, help you overcome these limiting beliefs. And there's always one or two that rule your life, right? I mean, you could have multiple limiting beliefs, but there's just one or two that dictates every decision that you make in your life. So if you
Mm-hmm.
work with someone, they're going to pinpoint
Mm-hmm.
um, what those feelings are, and work with an expert who has been there, right, who have been
Mm-hmm.
in your shoes and they overcame their limiting beliefs. And that's
Right.
that's when you get the maximum
Mm-hmm.
um, out outcome.
Outcome of your development or your
Yes.
transformation, which we are talking about. So, like when you're talking about it, it's really very important, and it's really, I think, in current scenario when we are talking about it, for many of lives or many of people, those are stagnant or those have, uh, because of pandemic and all, they might have such kind of situation. And sharing this wisdom, sharing these tips, I believe it's a really great help and great advice. So when we are talking about it, you are yourself as I mentioned, a part of your physician. You are a transformational coach who work with clients and all. Would you like to share some inspiring or maybe some story which you experienced while working uh, with so many years in your life?
Yeah, yeah. That's the beauty of being a transformational coach, because
Yeah.
you can actually see those light bulbs going off and people
Right.
taking charge of their life and
Yeah.
completely changing.
I believe.
Oh my goodness, I have so many stories.
Yes,
But one of
definitely.
my one of my very favorite story is, this person who
Mm-hmm.
actually was in the program, in a management business school program.
Mm-hmm.
She was my student, right? And
Mm-hmm.
this is the thing, right? Even with MBA and other master's degree, you
Right.
feel that you're not a great enough leader. And
Right.
we started working together, And she felt that, oh, I need additional training, right? In spite of this program being filled with all the leadership concepts and everything, right? She's like, I still feel that I need more training. I'm like, no, you don't. But then we started working together. I helped her get really clear on what she wants. And she said things like, I want to be close to my family, to my daughters, my aging parents, and I want to be earning something, her dream salary. And we worked together. She left her existing job and then she took another job, which wasn't the most ideal, but at least it brought her closer to her family. And
Mm-hmm.
then she started getting promoted. Like in 6 months, she became an associate director. And a few months ago, she sent me an email and she's on her way to become vice
Mm-hmm.
president, one of
Wow.
the vice presidents in the company.
Wow.
um, but there are so many transformational stories I can share with
Mm-hmm.
you. There's this African American woman, who felt isolated in her company, and she felt that she's getting discriminated and whatnot. We started
Mm-hmm.
working together. She felt ready to have a conversation with her boss, and she told her, "Hey, this is what is going on in the company, and I do not appreciate it." And it takes courage, right? It takes courage to confront people, but when you know that's exactly what you want, then
Mm-hmm.
you're willing to overcome your
Mm-hmm.
fears and have those
Mm-hmm.
difficult conversations and see that transformation. And her boss was so thankful that she shared this, and now she's working with her to create the kind of job that she wants in the company, and she's there to help her grow and whatnot. So it's these are all stories of courage and transformation. So you really have to
Wow.
make that
That's,
decision and be committed to it, that this, I refuse to live the life that I'm living today. I want something better, and
right.
something better is better than not having any clarity, right? So you don't have to know exactly what you want, but as soon as you make a decision, I want something better,
Mm-hmm.
I can work with it.
I think that's most inspiring thing which you have shared about your work, that how things can be changed just by having right approach, right direction, and right guidance. And I believe that's what we need all as a transformational coach and our mentorship. And people should definitely work if they have that kind of issue in their life, if they need that kind of support. So uh, when we are reaching towards the your work, you have your own transformation coach, but along with that, you have best-selling book, which I was mentioning earlier. I'm so happy, and I'm always when I was reading, I was finding like wow. So please share about that book as well.
Yeah, thank you for reading. I'm glad you liked it. So I wrote this book along with 19 other women,
Mm,
and it came out as one of the women, and she was my coach actually. She's still my coach, but she came up with this idea. Won't it be great if we can share our stories and let the world know that they are not alone? And
mm,
I have felt ashamed of my
mm,
life for the
mm,
longest time. And
mm,
I felt that I do not want to, hurt anybody by sharing my truth and
mm,
whatnot. But
mm,
I came to this point where, after working with clients and seeing the same kind of story, right? A traumatic childhood in one form or the other, I felt that my story needs to be shared. And
mm,
then in that book chapter, the one thing that changed everything, I write about my life, how my childhood was, what were some of the challenges, how I overcame that, and how I help others now to overcome those challenges. But
mhm.
it was a great experience. It was scary, but it was also exciting at the same time. Scary because it was, I was exposing my life, right,
Right.
to
Yeah.
strangers,
It's kind of
right?
keep become making yourself vulnerable and ready for all. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I thought that that story needed to be heard, and I got so many great, responses to my story, and it was just sad that there are so many people in this world, who have had trauma in their life, and they have just, stopped living their life. So I'm really grateful that I had this opportunity to be one of the authors in this book, and it was so well received.
That's nice. And I think that's most important when we realize that, yes, we had that, but it should not go further by sharing or by creating awareness, by telling the truth, what we have gone through. It might can give someone learning or understanding and save further our generation for their better future, for better their life. So when we are talking about it, it seems like a lot of inspiring things, a lot of wonderful things you are doing, Dr. Minalini. What are your future plans for your work?
My future plans, I want to help as many people as I can. I would like to get on, stages, world stages, and really bring this awareness to people about how trauma can really stop your life,
Mm-hmm.
and I want them to give them hope that, you're not alone, and there is something that you can do about it. You can do something
Mm-hmm.
about it and get out of that jail that so many of us have gotten used to living in. So that's
Mm-hmm.
what I want to do, reach out to as many people, inspire them, motivate them, coach them, and just help them. That's my goal. That's my calling. I have so much clarity on what I want. And yeah, that's what I want to do.
That's beautiful, and I wish you all the very best and congratulate. And I wish that you receive all the wishes what you are desiring for. And last but not least, what one message would you like to give to our audience and viewers who are listening and watching us? What way they can take something from our this session?
Yeah, the most important message I want to give everyone is to sharpen your saw. Take the time to pause and reflect on your life and make a decision. I want a
Mhm.
different life, because that's where the magic begins. That's the seed of transformation. So
Right.
sharpen your saw. That's the one message I want to give to your
Wow,
audience.
wow, wow. That's beautiful. That sharpen your soul and that find your magic. Okay, last not least, what do you think about a platform like this, Women Dialogue, is important?
When you reached out to me first, Shashi, I of course read up about you and found out what you did. And I was so impressed with, your own journey of how you want to uplift the society, especially by helping women, because, women have their own challenges. And it is so important to have this kind of a platform where we can freely talk about these things, right? And support each other and uplift each other and celebrate each other. So I appreciate you so much for what you're doing. And I wish you all the best. And I hope for you to reach as many women and help them, look at their life differently and give them hope, and transform this world together.
Thank you. Thank you so much for such a motivating and having such a lot of courage and lot of good wishes with your such beautiful words. Thank you so much, Dr. Minalini. And I really thanks that you, find some time to be part of this journey, to be part of this platform and share your experiences, share your career, share your journey with all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Shashi.
Thank you. And thanks to all our viewers. If you would like to hear more women voices and part of Women Dialogues, please connect with us. Please share, subscribe, like, and thank you. See you in the next episode. And as I was mentioning, we have Dr. Manalini, Transformation Coach. Her details are available in the description as well. So don't forget to link and connect with her as well. See you next time. Till then, take care. Bye bye.